What's happening, good people? The votes are in, and most of y'all said I should do it tomorrow. But I decided to do it again anyway. We gonna show that. What's happening, man? What's happening? I ain't got no water. I'm out here thugging in these streets. All right. So the first thing I want to do, what's up, Day One Fishing? I want to go over. I want to mention a couple of the comments in the overpaneling video. I think it's going to be a fun one comment wise. It'll probably reach a broader spectrum of people because I'm making a very declarative statement there. Even though I put the kind of in there because I can't help but be reasonable, right? I can't be unreasonable. Let's look at some of these comments. I think some people miss the point, right? It's not necessarily that I am completely against overpaneling. You you just minding somebody else's business. You need to drink water and mind your business. I just addressed that. What's up, 2%? I said y'all said I should go live tomorrow.
Yeah, so go live tomorrow.
But I'm out here in these streets.
Yeah, you can say, all right, y'all, be beautiful.
I can say that right now.
Yeah.
Just get on here and talk for a minute 40 and then deuces.
Yeah.
Why?
People they don't want to talk.
The people have spoken?
Right.
It was like 12 votes. And I'm
How many?
I don't know. You having a good time being rude?
I just feel like they saying go tomorrow. I say go tomorrow.
Hey, why don't I go tomorrow too? Right, problem solved. Mission accomplished. Thanks, Obama. I'm not used to going live without StreamYard, so this interface is a little bit. Oh my! Why is my coloring doing that?
Why aren't you on StreamYard?
Because the internet has been like whacked the last couple of streams, so I'm like kind of getting away from that. Anyway, I'm being rude. She's being rude. So let's get back to what we was talking about.
Especially since y'all don't want to talk.
Don't nobody want to talk, but they here though. You know what I mean?
Here. They don't want to be rude. They want you to say, all right, bye, beautiful.
There you go.
So they just being nice.
They go, just go away. Just go on somewhere. Good evening. This is Leroy Tyrone Yomashima. 2% say hello. All right. What I was saying was, I think some people missed the point. I'm not against overpaneling. I do think it's a little bit stupid. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit. Well, I don't think it's stupid. It is kind of stupid. It's wasteful, in my opinion. Sheesh. Anyway. All right. So I wanted to look at a couple of these comments. Let's do that. Let me go to the specific video so I can see the specific comments. I know that Setite was saying that he could kind of see some scenarios where overpan. Actually, Purple on the Creek said, I'm looking at his comment now. I agree on smaller stations, but I like to overpan on my AC 200p because it can take in so much solar and give out a lot of power, and I charge my smaller ones from it. So I feel like somebody needs to give me some examples of what they mean by overpaneling. And I'm not against it. I think it's fine. I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I don't know that. Let's say the AC 200p can take in what, like 700 watts of solar. Would I put, because then you also have, it's just throwing away power. I don't know. What's up, Joe? Tyson, good to see you, man. So you could take in 700 watts of solar. I'm gonna throw the whole idea of amps and volts out of the window. Well, mainly volts, because the series goes up to like 145 or something like that. But let's say realistically, you can get 1,000 watts of solar in that dip. Like, what I'm saying is, Overpaneling, when most of your days are sunny, when a lot of your days are sunny, we don't have a whole ton of sunny days here, but I don't see the benefit in it because when the sun is popping, you can't you gotta throw away that power. And I hate throwing away power. So I'd rather have a power station. I mean, after a certain point, it gets interesting because these power stations can't really take in a ton of solar to begin with. Let's say you have the EcoFlow Delta or the AC 300, right? I did the video, the versus video, where I talked about the three main differences. The AC 300 has two MPPTs in it. I believe that's what I came to understand. So it can take 1200 watts on each of those. I'd much rather, I'm not in a situation where I could use all that panel space, have space for all those panels. But me finding that out had me feeling like, man, the AC 300 is kind of it's a force to be reckoned with compared to only the 1200 of the EcoFlow Delta Pro. Then you think about the fact that the Delta Pro can put out all of that power. It's like a 2000 watt inverter. It might even be bigger than that. I'm not an EcoFlow Delta whatever. That's why Diva's a moderator. Um, I think Hobotech even hinted at it. You really can't recharge it using all of that power. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, you will over panel it. Let's say you over panel it to get you know what, like 14, 50, like 1.5 kilowatts of power, and it could take in 1.2. You could literally take those same panels and try and figure out a way to put them into the AC 300 and actually get all of that power. Now, I'm not talking about this idea of uh what's the word, compensating for the 80% output that you get on most panels. I get that. But to take, let's just go small, to take a 100-watt panel and put it on, like, that's a good example. It's not necessarily the strongest reinforcer of my point, but let's take that 100-watt panel on a power station. Most of these smaller power stations max out at 60 watts. I would much rather have a power station that could actually take in 100 watts. But the counter argument to my own point is that when you have a 100-watt panel, you know you're not going to get all of that power out of it. You might get 80, 85 watts, maybe even a little bit higher, 90, 95 watts under certain conditions. My conditions don't ever see me Habib Marwan like that. I still would much rather have a panel and a power station that were kind of matched. That's not necessarily the best example, but let me see what Bean is talking about. But that's I even did it, right. The I've done it before. I had the Bowdens. It took in 45 watts of solar or something like that. I bought a 100-watt panel because my 50-watt panel, it wasn't quite, you know, maxing it out. So I don't know if how I feel about the idea. Keep in mind, the only reason why I bought the Bowdens is because money was tight, but I wanted solar. I got that used panel for $20, 50-watt Renogy, and I got it for like $120, maybe a little cheaper because I had some Amazon points. I understand the idea of getting the best bang for your buck, the best bang for your solar output when you have that one power station. But as we start to get into having multiple power stations and so on and so forth, I really think, I was just talking with somebody about this on a Facebook Messenger. I think we really have to get in the mindset of buying what we actually want and then sizing the panels appropriately. Now, over paneling just a little bit to get like, to take 1,000-watt array and you know it's only going to produce like 800, to get that 800, I get that. But I'm not going to put 1,500 watts of solar so that on a cloudy day or an overcast day, I could get 200 watts out of it. You trying to see what's popping? There you go. Boom. Now you see what you need to see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. It's rare for my panels to hit over 80% in full sun. And Bean is down there in Texas. So overpaneling makes sense if you want to make full use of my inverters. Interesting perspective. 12 plus hours of sun every day, but I'm in the shade. Dang, that hurts. Or, do you just do just the opposite and have a 12 kilowatt inverter and 8.4 kilowatts of panels? So in practice, I'm with you, but realistically, I could overpanel and be okay. Okay. That's a problem I have with these home solar installs as well, right? They put all those panels on your roof to compensate for the fact that your panels are only going to be in the sun for those 5 prime hours, right? Where they get in. So they put more panels to kind of try and max out your output to match what they are ultimately getting you to pay for. Which is why I'm not into solar roof mounting. I would much rather have a ground mount that I could move, because then I don't have to have 12 panels out there so I can get power because they're stationary and the sun is hitting them at an angle and blah blah blah. I could just turn them dips and get it popping. So I'm big into this idea of just getting as much power as I can, but not wasting the power. And I feel like over paneling is a waste of power on those days when it's beastie. I don't know, man. Let me think about that. So even in another situation, now, okay, let me share this. I do agree with, and I always think about Minuteman Prep setup where he has one of them Titans. I do agree that if you understand this is how much power I need, this device can deliver that power and it can take in this much solar, and you're good after that, then I do feel like I understand this idea of maximizing, putting as many panels up there as possible, over paneling it, because at the end of the day, you need 4 kilowatts of power an hour or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like you need that amount of power. I understand that, because there's a threshold that you're trying to meet. It's like, boom, I know that this is my power needs. This particular panel array at 4 kilowatts will not give me 4 kilowatts, so I gotta go over to try and meet that need. I understand that. But with us, with just these power stations, you could easily, let's say, in a situation where prepping on a creek where you have the AC 200p, it can take in, I don't know how much is it, 700. I think it's 700 compared to the max is 900. It could take in 700 watt. Prepping on the creek has multiple power stations. So sure, you can configure that device to max out. But then what you could also do is take those panels, have two separate arrays, one array giving the EB120, the rest of it, one array giving the AC 200p, what it would get it, even though it's like slightly below the threshold of what you need. But then on a banging day, you get all of that power instead of that power, both of those panel setups being on one device and being wasted on a banging day. So yet again, I found another reason where I would just like two separate power stations instead of one that bangs out, because then there's wasted power on a sunny day. And when it's a sunny day, I want all my power. I don't want necessarily, I'll sacrifice. Is that even sacrifice? I was going to say I'll sacrifice not having as much power on a less than ideal day, but you're not really, right? That's why I have, you think about it realistically, I have four 200-ish, like 190-ish panels, and they're all on separate power stations, because all of those power stations can take that power instead of taking two of those panels, putting it on one, so that on a sunny day I could get 80 watts. So that on a cloudy day I can get 80 watts into one, and then on a banging day I get what, let's just say 200 watts, because I'm creating a fictitious example here. So two 400-watt panels give me 80 watts on an overcast or a cloudy day, and give me 200 watts on a sunny day. Whereas if I take those two panels separate, EB120, EcoFlow River Max, I get 40 watts, 20 watts each, right? But then on the banging day, I get 350 watts. 320 watts instead of 200. That's my whole point. That's my whole point. Okay, let's see what y'all talking about. What's up, Beats? Good to see you, man. Hey Sharon, I don't know if I said hello. Hey, Auntie Blessings. Um, Three Blue Dragons. I don't know if I said hello by name. So okay. All right. In the industry, it's standard practice to overpanel. If sun is good, you have plenty. If sun is bad, you might still have enough. Maybe non-permanent installations play a variable. I got you. Yeah, I get it. Um, Amp hours, grossly, okay, grossly, maybe I'm attributing AH to something else. If you are relying 100% on your off-grid stations, you might be grossly overpaneling for quality of life. But is it worth it if it's a money-saving venture? I don't know. I mean, we both know that solar as a money-saving venture is, I want to say arduous one, but I don't know if I'm using that word right. Define arduous. Demanding great effort or labor, difficult, testing severely the powers of endurance. Yeah, it kind of, sort of. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that scenario. Is it worth it if it's a money saving venture? It could be. I mean, in theory, but you're still wasting power. So you're saving money over the long run because solar does pay for itself. It takes like 5 to 7 years, depending on how much you pay, whatever. That's just a waste that I can't wrap my mind around. I can't wrap my mind around. Chat, please ask before you post. What does that mean? I hear you saying overpaneling is the lazy way of doing it, which I think is legitimate. I'm overpaneling the AC 200p on the solar input by one 100-watt panel and a charge enhancer. I'm actually under by 100 watts. Interesting. The most I've gotten is over 1,000 watts. That's at peak hours. I'm using 600 watts per hour. Interesting. I also charge my other stations from the AC 200p. What's up, Diva? What's up, Wayne? It's all good. LVP, what's happening and trapping? Hey, speaking of that, my wife and I, we created a separate channel for the lives, and we're gonna kind of take on various topics and so on and so forth, and we'll see how it goes. I hope to see some of you guys over there when we launch it, so to speak. But what's up, Fridge? Yeah, we're gonna do. Actually, we were just having a conversation the other day. We have all of these conversations like off camera, and I'm always saying, "Man, we should have had this on camera." Now she's even saying we should have had it on camera because it's starting to get like realistic, and that it's beginning to be tangible. Because I like this idea of like talking about just a variety of topics, not necessarily a variety show, because it's hard to do a variety thing on YouTube and win, but just like commentary. Like there was this one situation where one of the Simmons kids was like out. I'm not gonna get into it, but she had on an interesting outfit choice, and people were like giving her a hard time about it and all that jazz. And me and my wife had a conversation about it, which would have been cool to be able to share with people who are into that kind of thing. We'll see. I'm here for the other live channel. Thank you. I appreciate that, gardening with Eve. I wish I could have the space and money to overpay. True that. I know one comment said, it was funny. I got a good chuckle out of it. What did he say? It was Derb. He said, worked here in Ireland where you can't guarantee any full sunshine every day of the week, was getting a terrible 6 watts on one 130-watt panel on an overcast day. When I got the cables to attach the second panel, now it hits 22 watts in the same conditions. Okay. So what I was telling Derb is, yeah, it works here in the States too. I mean, we got places here that don't get a whole lot of sunshine. I know like in the UK, in some areas, it's notoriously overcast all the time. I get it. But I think he missed the point as well. It's not necessarily this idea of overpaneling is bad. I guess it is the idea of overpaneling is bad because to overpanel means to put more power onto a power station that it can take. But my thing is like, okay, just buy more panels for a power station that could take in more power. If you find yourself in that position, if you don't find yourself in that position, I get it, but I still feel like it's kind of stupid. Slightly beneficial, but stupid. I also say overpaneling is stupid because I knew it would be like a definitive statement. Um, and in my real world example, I stalled for the longest time, and I actually never did it. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I never put that 190 watt panel on that. Oops. One, because I'm scared it's gonna break it because it already is weird. Excuse me. And two, I don't like the idea of over paneling because on a day when it's super bright, I feel like that panel's being wasted. So what I did do, I've been testing with the Alcatel P501, which says it can take in 125 watts or something like that. So I wanted to see if it could actually produce it per Joe Trot. He asked about it. It did not get up to 125, but I have seen it as high as like 109 or something like that. So that was not a good example. Once I finally like shift my power stations around, the bull bat will probably end up being what I use on the Bourgeois V panel or whatever 200 watt panel ends up being down there in that first position of my 3 panels. I got a bunch of videos that I've recorded that I have to put out. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you don't have to follow me. It's easier if you do it, but check me out on Instagram because that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of those short videos because they're not necessarily shorts that are beneficial in the YouTube ecosystem. They're more like just 60-second long updates about what I got going on and all that jazz. Let's see. It was being asked if someone has a channel. So I said, ask before. So you can say if it, oh, okay. It was being asked if someone has a channel. So I said, ask before posting. So you can say if it's okay or not. I gotcha. I didn't put you anywhere. Oh, wait. What's going on? Oh, Auntie Blessings came with a grudge. So what happened is Auntie Blessings got put in timeout on the last live. I don't know what that was about. I didn't do it. I know for sure that I didn't do it because it's you have to be very intentional with like putting someone in timeout or pinning a message or reporting someone or whatever. And I would have to go and actually click the 3 dots. I don't know what happened, Auntie Blessings. I'm not sure. I wonder if I couldn't even speculate. But you're good. Hopefully you don't get put magically on timeout.
Like 2%, she did it.
Oh, my wife is blaming 2%. See, that's what you get for riding with her. She threw you right under the bus.
I'm just teasing. Hi, Auntie Blessings. Hey, everybody.
Threw you right under the bus. Good evening. Practical Gadgeteer. I've been saying hi, but not saying people's names. What's up, MJ? Good to see you. Okay, it happened last live, and I don't understand why or how. Yeah, I get it. I can't imagine anybody would have a reason to do it. I mean, y'all all be chilling. So if it did happen, I would chalk it up to a mistake. I mean, if someone did do it, I would chalk it up to a mistake. 2% says she's innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, and I didn't. That's possible. Diva saying sometimes if you post too many times in a short period of time, you might get put on timeout. That makes sense. I do know that you have the ability when you set up the live stream to say that people can't comment very fast. So maybe if you were commenting fast, YouTube was like, hey, you need to relax. You take it easy, relax. That's interesting. I wonder if somebody wants to test that theory. You'd be put on timeout. I wonder how long it will last. That's what I'm curious about. But Nathan said he agrees with me on the overpaneling, so that when we really don't have to go into that too much because I mean ultimately Nathan's right, right? Um, Setai said he commented some time ago because he supports me on Patreon. Appreciate you, brother. Uh, so he saw the video early, as did a few other people who support me on Patreon. I'm grateful. Speaking of what I'm grateful for, somebody, I don't know if I'm gonna just say, Kim sent me some coins toward that microphone that I want to get. Thank you so much, Kim. I greatly appreciate it. There's this microphone that's like, it's nice, but it's $330. That hurts my soul. But I had come to terms with like, so the single one is $199. The dual one that would benefit me and my wife greatly for doing our lives and our blog and stuff like that. She'd be able to move around and still talk and be heard. Was like $299, and that was for the Rode one, right? And I was gonna settle and kind of check that out. Deity has one, and then DJI came out with one that I was really impressed with, but it was like 330, and now the Rode is like 270. And at 330, when you think about it realistically, after taxes, and it's like $350. That hurts me a little bit. It hurts me. It hurts me. But anyway, somebody was kind enough to send me some coins towards that. I appreciate it. What are they talking about? I'm gonna wait till we get the channel together for my wife and I's our live streams before I say anything about it. But it's coming soon, and we may actually do a live this Sunday to just kind of hang out and kick it, and then we'll hopefully be able to tell you guys about the other channel so you can go and subscribe over there. I'm hoping to be able to quickly get to 100 subscribers so that we can get our custom URL because I just like the way the custom URL looks. You know what I mean? I'm too poor for overpaneling, but that probably is a nice problem to have. If I could choose my problems, I would like to over panel, have over capacity. What's up, Steve? Good to see you, man. Yeah, spending it, yeah, but it is fun. Steve says spending hurts, but it's fun. Let me make sure I don't think that this matters at this point. Let me see. I want to make sure I don't miss any chat messages. Let's see here. I do have some updates for you guys. I'll get there in a second. I wish I had places to easily put more panels. Yeah, that's another thing. We need to cut down these trees. I have a sawzall from my neighbor that I could use to cut down those trees on the side of my house. Whenever you see my panels leaning up against that wall, those 4 trees, we want to get rid of those mainly because they look a hot mess. Now, my neighbors, it doesn't matter. Sorry, excuse me. He made an interesting point that we have moved past, but I wanted to share it anyway. He made an interesting point about those trees providing privacy. What? No. No. Oh, he made a good point about the trees providing privacy, but.
And my idea, you talking about these trees right here?
Yeah.
Was putting up a privacy fence.
My wife's idea is putting up a privacy fence. Let me tell y'all something. This one does not have any. She don't lose no sleep about spending coins. She was trying to spend all the money on these summer projects. I was like, listen, you need to relax.
I was not.
You need to relax.
I was being very budget minded.
True.
I mean, I care, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're not that far away in our parameters of similarities.
What do y'all want?
All right. Let's see. If the trees provide fruit, do not cut them down. I wish they provided fruit. I kind of don't wish. I mean, I wish in theory that they provided fruit, but they don't. My neighbor has an apple tree, and they were like, they told us we could come by and have some anytime. I thought if it ever got real, they might rescind that invite. I'd like to overpanel for inventory purposes. Best to have and not need than need and not have. Okay, well, yeah, having more panels, I get that. And then even using them, I get that. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that. Um, I desperately need solar panel extension cables. Oh, really? What do you mean? Like, how long? And why do you desperately need solar panel extension cables, MJ? Same MJ with a few longer cables. I could lean more against the front of my house. Y'all better get some 100-foot cables. Is 100 foot not enough? Or since y'all are telling me that making cables and MC4 is so easy, I imagine that cable by the foot is cheaper when it doesn't have MC4 connectors on it. Yeah, you got a penny.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the counter. I feel like you should leave it there. Go put it back.
Yeah.
Thank you. How they gonna watch TV in here?
I didn't tell you to watch TV. I said get your phones. I said get your phones. Next, y'all gonna go upstairs. I don't know. I thought I thought cutting their hair would start making them act right. But
Oh my gosh.
I really believe that, like, when they get their hair cut, they start acting normal again. Kind of like when you wash your car and you clean out your car real nice and you got it smelling all good. You feel like it drives better.
I'm not gonna entertain what this lady's talking about. What's up, James? What's happening, man? Let's see. What is the other channel? I obviously had missed this announcement. Sorry if you have given the name already. I haven't given the name already. We have a family channel called The Richards Revealed. And then we have a marriage thing that we kind of want to do, but haven't set out to do because we don't know if we could do it consistently because the marriage thing has to be topical. And then you don't want to kind of start and then run out of topics. But then this thing will just be us going live and maybe a recorded video here and there where we just have these discussions that me and her have for all to witness, which we don't mind. But I have not shared the channel name yet. I mean, it's going to be called like TRR Lives or something like that. But I don't necessarily have the channel stuff set up yet. It's not like public or anything like that. CWG, what's happening? Delgado, good to see you. 6 to 10 foot, so I can run the cables to my generator from the porch. I got some short joints. Interesting. I should buy a 50-inch roll of whatever wire, 10 something or another, and put some MC4 ends on it. That's an excellent idea. There you go. Yeah, y'all be MC4 shaming me. Go ahead and get it popping. Get you some wire and make it pop. Let's see. MJ, I'll hit you up. I mean, some cables. We can get you some cables. Get those apples and can them for the future. Yeah, we're not in that canning yet.
Do you want to see my video? No?
I'm in Shady Acres here and chasing the sun. The panels are heavy. I put them on a luggage cart, but it's still awkward. Interesting. Yeah, Miss Beverly, she was in a similar situation. You want to watch right there, all in the zone. Let's see. 50 foot, not inch. Oh yeah, I mean, I got you. Yeah, I never know what the thing is. The right thing is for the apostrophe or the quotation mark that denotes feet and inches. And I don't care. I'm American. I don't care. I canned a load of chicken this weekend. It's a good skill to have. I dig that. Let's see here. Okay, so a bunch of things transpired recently. Is 5521 plugins hard to find? What do you mean? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Hard to find. What you mean? Are they easy?
It might be hard for you to find. It might be hard for somebody to find. Depends on where you're looking. Like what where you looking?
Can you get them off Amazon easily? Can you go to Walmart? I'm just saying.
You can get it off of. It's a weird question.
Easy. No, it's not a weird question.
Have you found them hard to find? Like, I don't know. I don't find them to be hard to find, but it depends on what kind of end. What are you talking about? You talking about a 5521 adapter? You talking about 5521 cable to MC4? You talking about a 5521 to 5521 male? I'm trying to understand. What's up, Paco?
I'm not trying to understand.
I received my AC200 Max today, sitting down watching you live and going through the manual. I won't be sleeping tonight. Oh, that's dope. Man, dang. I'm a little jealous. Let's see. I was trying to get somewhere before my wife came over here with all of this being reasonable.
Sorry.
Yeah, man.
I just don't like when you do that to me. I just be like, hey, can you answer my question?
Pigtail or to... I feel like MC4 to 5521, you should be able to find that on Amazon. There's also there's 5521 to like screw receptacle that you could put wire into. Will was like, he talked about them a lot, like when I first got into power stations, like being able to adapt certain devices to those 5521 ports that were on these power stations that nobody knew how to use. Grazie. Amazon has them. I got a couple of 5521 cables, cheap. They can be used to charge one power station from another. Yeah, I do that. I got a cable around here.
Gadgeteer.
That's Joe Trot.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Joe.
Thank you, Practical Gadgeteer. My brain is technical, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
I'm literal.
Other people don't. You know what I mean? It just sometimes you can come across as being what you're not. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I probably am being that. Just to keep it a buck. So the updates are as follows. One is the AC. I shipped the AC200P off. And when I say I shipped, I mean I got it together in the box. My wife taped it and I put it in the car and she drove it and got people to carry it into the store.
No, I carried it into the store.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. I went in there and told them to give me the little roll thing.
So you pushed it into the store. I'm being super technical right now. I don't know if you're feeling the vibe.
I see. I see, yes.
Before she tried to take credit, let me talk about each individual thing that we both did to get this mission accomplished.
Right. I pushed that in and I had to carry the other 3 in and had to bring 2 back out because he was like, I ain't about to spend all the money on those. And then I brought 1 back in.
Yeah. It was $50 to ship them things through UPS ground. I was like, man, y'all know I told y'all from the dip. I was
surprised. He was like, no. I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I don't think he wants to send it. I was shocked.
I got like a dub on shipping. I ain't got no $50. I barely got a dub. I be trying to be kind. Because I feel like I'm thankful to you guys and I have more than enough. So when I send it out, it's like, hey, you know. And people have shared. I feel like people are more than willing to pay shipping in theory.
I mean, I feel like you're getting something for free. The least that's how I rock when I'm giving stuff away for free. I've been doing a lot of purging. I know this isn't supposed to be but I mean, you ain't supposed to be doing it anyway. You're supposed to be doing it tomorrow. But anyway, I feel like I'm gonna send it to you, or you can come pick it up. If you want it to be sent to you, then you gotta pay for it to be sent to you because I'm already giving it to you for free. You know. Yeah,
like $20 is kind of like I have these like thresholds for my spending and stuff like that. It's like I could part with a dub fairly easily, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I can handle that. But $50? Nah, fam. I was like, nah. I actually have the dip for James. That was one of the ones that we were going to try and ship off. And I have to try and do it through FedEx to see if I can get a better price. So I'm going to look into that soon. Yeah, I feel you, Steve. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. So the AC200P has been shipped off. I'm supposed to be getting my money back. They have about 30 days to do it, but um, Maxoak has been very responsive. Not very responsive. They've been responsive. They haven't been very responsive, but they've been responsive. It's being sent off. I don't know when it's going to be delivered. I don't know where those little coupons are. I think they'll say they were in the car. The GoLabs R500 was sent off because its AC was turning off on me randomly. Sharon, did you reach out to them, support at golabs.com, to tell them about your issue? Because that's unacceptable. It shouldn't do that. I'm very shocked that two devices are doing the same thing. Um, and then I finally got Code Hack's broken bull bat that he wanted. He wanted many moons ago. I finally got that off to him. He's very gracious. I appreciate if you watch this Code Hack. I appreciate you greatly. Um, I was just gonna send him a $50 gift card from Amazon or something. I was just like, man, this became a whole ordeal. Do you still want the device, or would you just rather the $50 to go towards something? He was like, he still wanted the device, so cool. And he paid shipping, so it was a good time. Hey, it's like she be wanting it with the lid back on, so she could just have it. I don't know, live her best life. Um. Okay. So then I have to figure out the James device. And what else we got? Let's see here. Where did my notes go? Oh, they're in the wrong tab. Oh, I ordered a. Oh man, I don't have it. Dang it. It's not. It's at work. I went to work today. I was in the office today. I actually picked my days based on when it would not be sunny.
I didn't know that.
Hey, you want to come over here so you can get busy. That's all you want. So that was interesting. The reason why I say that is because y'all remember that desktop charger that I showed you on one of the lives that had like the two USB-C ports and the two USB-A ports. I actually ordered another one. So I mentioned that on the live because the company sent it to me, and I do think that there's value in what proves that. Even though hopefully you guys don't doubt my integrity. I bought one from Rav Power recently because it was a 120, so it was a 60/60. The one that I had was like a 65-watt total output, and the reason why I bought the Rav Power, it hasn't come yet, but I got it for a very good price. It may still actually be on sale. It's like $62. Whereas like the Koval one that I wanted them to send, that Jasonoid did the video on, which has the 260-watt output, that thing is $99 with a $25 off coupon. So it's $75. And I was just like, charge. Because it wasn't that expensive back when Jasonoid did the video. So I actually bought one of those, and the reason why I bought them is because it has a 260-watt output. I thought because I'm getting these super big power stations, I have one now, the Alcatel Cane, the Alcatel P2001. I have that. It's actually right over here in this corner, just chilling. I have some videos, a video or two I need to share on that. With this discovery that these power stations, because especially the bigger ones, because of this regulation that they're doing on the 12 volt, somebody, I think it was Jason or maybe Set Type, made a very good point that there's a possibility that we could be losing power through the conversion because some of these battery configurations get feel like you like all in the shot, but not here. I could be in the zone with my people. So some of these battery configurations are like higher voltage. So maybe they have to go down to 13 volts from a 48 volt or whatever. I don't know. I don't know that stuff. Setai is much smarter than me in that regard. um, in terms of like the intricacies of the battery technology and all of that jazz. But I say all that to say the reason why I bought that particular thing is because with these AC and DC power options having very comparable efficiency, like you get like 85% on the DC, and sometimes you're getting 85% on the AC. And some of these power stations, you're getting like 80% on the DC and 85% on the AC. So it's like sometimes the AC is more efficient than the DC. So I was like, you know what? I have to kind of think hard about abandoning this idea that DC is more efficient. Now, on your smaller power stations, I think that that's probably still the case. I even see some proof of that. And when I'm powering stuff, you could look at a device that's taking in about 60 watts, and then you look at the device that's giving the power, it's at about 68 watts, right? So that's a very small bit of inefficiency there. But because I have these larger power stations, I thought, you know what, it would be cool to have one plug, multiple ports that could charge up my smaller power stations that can take in about 60 watts from one plug and not have to have, okay, USB-C here, USB-C here, okay, AC plug. What I mean when I say that is boop, 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 boop. So I have these little adapters. Like this is my Anchor 65 watt. This is my RAV Power. I think it goes up to 90 if you only plug one in, and then it'll do like maybe 45 on the split. So I could have that little desktop charger that will definitely do 65. The one that I got from Convo did not do that. It split it in some weird way because the max was 65 watts. So I thought it was pretty cool. So I picked one up for about $60. Radpower.com. There was a coupon SU35. It was a part of, I'm on their email list. It was something that they emailed me when I went to the site. It showed those options as being on sale. You just needed to put the coupon in. So y'all can check that out. You know what I mean? MJ says she loves your smile.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. Kohack, what's happening? Creeping. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're here. Okay, Sharon is saying, I have the Bouge RV crimping set and I haven't any idea how to use it. I have a 100-foot cable, 250-foot cables, and 310-foot cables. Overkill? Not at all. Options is always good. Maybe, but I'm prepared. Too much reading, you think?
Girl, you call it.
I mean, that's fine. It gives you options. To have a 100-foot cable when you need it is cool. You know what I mean? Like, let you, if something happens locally and you got to go to somebody's house, your family member's house, or move somewhere else, not move, but relocate somewhere else, and that space has a lot of trees, you got a 100-foot cable, you throw that in your car, you take your power station and a panel with you, you good money. So, a surfer, I don't know if I said hey, but what's happening? Trees are homes. Yeah, he's the one who got the broken bull back, who paid shipping and all that jazz.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I finally got an LM 2020 oscilloscope meter similar to the one that Jason Oy has. Listen, until they make an oscilloscope with a prong that I could put in these power stations, I'm like, I don't know if I'm buying an oscilloscope. I may get one at some point, but I'm just like, dude, why does these things still have points on them? I get why they have points, but I like to keep stuff simple. I be seeing Jason Noy and Hobotech and Set Type with these prongs hanging out of these devices and all that jazz, and I'm just like, that's too much for me, man. I'm not the electric guy. That's not my thing. If you scoot to your right, Dell can fit right in there. I bet she can.
I know, right?
Yeah, I bet she can. Just so she could sit here and be on her phone, which is fine. I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that at all. Okay. So the Alcatel Big Dip did come, which is cool. I have a video on. Yo, I'm not gonna spoil it. Y'all just going to watch the video. I was just going to watch the video.
Oh, come on.
It's not even about the Alcatel. It's about the AC200. It's an interesting little thing. And I'm editing that video now. So I'll probably put it up on Patreon first. And then at some point I'll put it out or make it unlisted or something like that. But it's interesting. It's easy, Ab. Just don't put your tongue on them while they're plugged into a power station. That method only works for testing 9-volt batteries. Yeah, and listen, you ain't got to worry about me. Thanks for that advice. I don't even want one until they have AC ports on it. I did get an all powers 100-watt panel. I think that dip is PET coded. But right when I made the post, a few days after I made the post about it being on sale, because it was a 100-watt panel, I think the cheapest I saw was like $1.25 or something like that, which was interesting. It had like a coupon on it. They hit me up to send me one, and they sent me one, so I have to do a video soon on that one because they asked me to do it in 2 weeks. Man, let me tell y'all something. Like a lot of YouTubers talk about the fact that doing YouTube is work. It's work you enjoy more than like typical work, but it's still work. These devices come in and you got to produce these videos, and you have like a life and, you know, kids and family and your spouse and your job. And it's like, man, you to carve out time to make these videos, it takes a little bit, you know, it really takes a little bit. That's why I like the fact that the channel that my wife and I are going to do where we chat is going to be live.
Why? Like, why?
I saw an image of someone, the chick, our Caucasian sister was so photoshopped. She barely had ankles, but they had her butt all out. It's just like, people were like, apparently when you work out, you lose your ankles. It's the whole thing. My wife just showed me this waist trainer thing or whatever, and this chick had like a very...
I thought her butt is like one butt cheek is considerably larger than the other. It's like, how did you not?
They don't
catch
care.
That?
They don't care. They know we not paying attention. We just see the big butt and we like, hey, hey. Hey, Regional Sky Girl. It's always good to see you. Let's see what we got here. So I did talk about the fact that we're going to be launching a new channel for the live streams. I have this whole area that I need to clean up. That's one of the videos I'm gonna put on Instagram too, just showing like all this foolishness I got going on.
Before and after.
No, it's just gonna be a before. I don't know how much better the after is gonna be.
Yeah.
But Dell was like, if you do this, maybe I'll learn about these power stations or one power station.
Right. I'll learn about one power station.
So which power station should she learn about?
Yeah.
I think if I'm toying around with this idea of putting a bigger power station where the TV is, if I put a bigger one there, not even for turning off, just like I want to have some autonomy in that zone versus having to manage it daily. That's another thing about the freaking overpaneling, right?
What?
I don't know. I think you so I like the idea, and you guys should too, when we start to be more strategic about these power stations. So where I'm going with this is this. Excuse me. I've talked about this before. We all love a full power station, right? And that's mainly because a lot of us have smaller power stations, and if your power went out, you want as much power as possible. But when you start to get like to the point where you're saving up for like the AC200Ps and the EcoFlow Delta Maxes and the Delta Pros and all that jazz, or maybe you catch something that's really good on a Kickstarter, like the Big Blue, which was $9.99. I think we have to start thinking about this idea of finding a panel combination that complements longevity in our power stations. And I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying it's something to think about. Because if you have a 2,000 watt hour battery and you have a 200 watt panel, which will, let's say, produce 150 watts an hour. What did I say? The 100 watt panel, they say should produce about 500 watt hours of capacity a day, right? So that begs to reason that a 200 watt hour panel will produce about 1,000 watt hours a day. So you think about that strategically, and you have like a AC 200p, and you know that your particular load for the day on whatever you're gonna put on there. Let's say you run your internet and your TV, you know it uses about 800 watts. Then you kind of know that your device is gonna stay within a realm of like 1,500 watts and 500 watts daily, as long as it has sun. If it has sun, then you're kind of not moving. But if you don't have sun, then you have to use it down. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can be very strategic about having a longer shelf life or a longer life with that power station. Now, the reason why I say I'm not saying that has to be the rule, because there's a lot of people point out this idea that you would have the same power station and be depending on that power station 2 to 3 years from now. Some people, like myself, we're going to use it till we can't use it anymore. But some people are going to be, gradually upgrading. Maybe power stations become cheaper. Maybe battery technology becomes cheaper. So then you don't have to be beholden to that idea, but it's something to think about. Like, how much wattage is my solar panel going to produce? And is that going to be reasonable? You could put yourself in a situation where you're at work all the time, or you're traveling all the time, you're on the road all the time, and you got an AC 200p and a 400 watt panel. Now, that's fine from a preparedness standpoint, because if something happens, then you're no longer at work all the time. You're no longer traveling all the time. And then you have those beastie accommodations. But some people just want to be able to get by during a power outage or for whatever reason. And then you have this beastie system that's always full. It's sitting at 100% all the time, which is fine. I don't want you guys to feel like, there's rules to good battery management and good battery care and all that jazz, but you don't have to be beholden to them, especially with lithium iron phosphate, because it has so many cycles. So, being strategic, I was thinking about putting a bigger power station over there, because that bigger power station, you can kind of live within the realm of 20 to 80% a lot more easily than me having the 500 watt hour one, which pretty much gets drained down to whatever every single day. You know what I mean? It just puts a little bit extra wear and tear, because some of these power stations, man, I drain to zero. And sometimes I look at them and I'll be like, I'm going to stop at 20. Sometimes I do. Most times I don't, just to keep it a buck. Interesting. I thought I saw a Kevin name. When y'all gonna start keeping bees? Man, I don't want no bees. All of them could, yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna say all the bees. You asking about bees. When I hear bees, I think about all of them. I think about bees, wasps, yellow jackets. We got freaking carpenter bees that I wish DEATH upon. So I bought some promethrin or something concentrate that I have to mix to spray our wood, and it's supposed to kill all pets. Actually, the Outdoor Gear Review talked about it as well. I was just kind of connecting the dots a few days ago, because he's always out there and he sprays his gear with permethrin. There's like two versions. There's like the natural version and then the synthesized version, or the man-made version, which I think is what I have. But yeah, we going to war with some carpenter bees. We've been smacking them around with tennis rackets and stuff. But you can only get the males that way, unless you find a rare occasion that where the female is out. But they could go away. No, we're not keeping bees. Well, I'm not personally embracing. I feel like, God forbid things, go completely haywire. I don't want to have my hands out in the dirt. I'm not that kind of guy. I've never been that kind of guy. I'll do what we have to do if life shifts dramatically. But as far as you know what I mean? I would actually love to partner with one of my neighbors who's into that. You know what I mean? I can kind of put some in a bill, contribute some funds and, whatever. And they grow the stuff, because I'm not into that. So we'll be no beekeeping around here. Not at all. I sent you an email about cheap shipping. YouTube wouldn't let me post it in here. Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say, I wish I saw an email from you. I ain't seen no emails from you. But okay, I got you. Carpenter bees are a class A nuisance. You can get traps for them. Yeah, some people have luck with the traps, some people don't. Some people catch a few, some people don't. And if you realistically think about it, you'd have to probably work pretty hard to get a female in there. You know what I mean? Because the males are the ones that are out buzzing and dive bombing you. The female's already up in your wood. And how often does she come out? I don't know. So we got that pesticide and we're gonna spray some things. I was telling my neighbor about it, and he was like, he said, he was like, how much it hit for? And I was like, it's like 15. And he was going to motion to get money out of his wallet. And I was like, nah, I got enough. He was like, nah, just, here, he gave me $20 and I ordered him something. I got mine Saturday, got his Sunday. But I got to get Dell on mixing it so we could make it happen.
I read the label. I had to read the label.
Did the label say how to mix it?
Oh no, just overall safety. Like it was nice to know that you're not supposed to spray so much that it drips.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be kind of more targeted than just like all over the place.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I didn't understand the measurement.
Did I send you the picture of the measurements?
No, you asked me that, and I said no.
Oh, you said the measurements like you had seen them or something like that. I gotta send it to you.
They have some measurements inside of the label, but
let me see what y'all snapping and trapping about. That's Odell. Can give you a hard time. You can edit it out. Bam, you hitting things on the. Who did I hit on the? You said, "Bam, you hitting things on the nail head right now." When y'all gonna start keeping bees? I already answered that. I'm not gonna do that. Try to have at least 30. That's what I wanted to kind of sit with. Try to have at least 30% panel compared to watt hours. Interesting. I like that logic. I hope it makes sense. My brain is slow at processing stuff like that. So if you got. Give me an example, because I could get stuck quietly here. I mean, realistically, because 2,000 watt hours, 10% is 20, 30% would be what, 60, 600, whatever. I don't know. So, okay, that's interesting. He said, I got to work through it. AC 200p basically runs my whole living room. I use it to run my 55-inch TV, my internet modem, and router, lights, etc. Yeah, I want to get a transfer switch for sure. Excuse me. AC 200, AC 230. What's that? Am I missing something? It's under my AC 200p for charging my phones. Are you saying the AC 30? Are you using solar? Regional Sky Girl asks, are you using solar to save or for prepping reasons? That's a good question. All right, for me, I'm using solar personally because I love renewable energy. I think it's dope. And I guess it's born out of scarcity. Like just like batteries. When I figured out you could buy rechargeable batteries, that was just like the most economical thing to do. Like, why would I keep paying money for something I throw in the trash? That just seems silly. It seems like a waste of money. So I love renewable energy for that way. I also like having power when the electricity goes out, because I lost electricity a lot in the NO. I'm from New Orleans, so we lost electricity all the time, especially one could posit in the Black community because we were a lower priority. So there's that. That's another reason why I love flashlights, because I didn't like being in the dark. I feel like flashlights are cool. So I got it for those reasons. It operates on a multiple, like I used to say I'm like prepper adjacent. I feel like now we're like prepper adjacent and kind of crossing into somewhat being preppers, but I feel like we're not serious enough about it to consider ourselves to be preppers. So it runs dual duty for me. Like, I bought it because I don't want to be without power if the lights go out. I definitely didn't want to be able to not watch TV. I didn't want to not be able to be entertained. In some instances, I didn't want to not be able to entertain my kids. I wanted to be able to jump on my laptop and edit a vlog for our vlog channel and all that jazz. And then it also saves me money. I was just looking at our electric bill, because our usage patterns have changed, one, and I have solar stuff being powered off of solar, two, and three, we don't use a whole lot of power to begin with. We don't have a whole lot of stuff in our house. I've seen some days be as low as under 8 kWh for the day. We typically sit at about 14 or 12. The highest in the last like 2 weeks to 45 days was probably like 25 or 24 kilowatts. And I think that's because we had to use some heaters or something. And my wife is real, she real loose with the power usage sometimes. But so we've literally had days where we've owned the whole day. We've used like 7 point something kilowatt hours the whole day. That's amazing to me. Whereas like we would usually be at like 18, 16 in our past like years ago, before we had like energy efficient light bulbs and lower draw TVs and so on and so forth. So I'm stoked about it. Let me see if we got any answers. Solar for prepping for me. Do you know anything about CB radios or ham radios? I don't. I just started to learn about it through Ria's Shack Ham Radios channel. I'm more so into walkie talkies than anything because I want like immediate communication for in close proximity with my wife and myself should, cell phone towers go down. But that's a practical matter of just life. Sometimes we could go into the store and she gets into an area where, she doesn't have coverage, or we're at like a park or something like that. Or when we travel, I like the idea that if we went to the car, I don't have to call her to let her know or ask her a question. And then it's audible, right? I don't have to count on her being able to see the phone ringing or hear the phone ringing. It's like I'm going down to the car, walkie talkies are on. If something happens when we're traveling, she goes to get food sometimes. And when she's coming in, if I could see the car, I'm watching her. If I can't see the car, I don't know what she's doing. So I want her to be able to have some type of method to quickly communicate with me in case I need to bust a move. You know what I mean? So I don't know a whole lot about it. I would say that the first thing that I want to do is get some walkie talkies. The second thing I wanted to do is to get some GMRS radios that have a little bit longer range. That's kind of like more my speed than anything. Because I mean, we don't live around a whole lot of family. We're not necessarily a part of a whole lot of groups or anything like that. So it's like I don't necessarily need long range communication in this instance. But once I get those two things squared away, then I could kind of see myself getting into like ham radio. I think it's really interesting just having it. Another thing with our house being so small, it's small for 6 people. It wasn't small when we got it. I don't really have space to just have stuff hanging around that I don't use. And I definitely wouldn't use a ham radio in this instance. Like right now, I wouldn't just be on there hanging out and stuff like that. We lost power last week for like the hours. I got a short coming where we lost power. Um, and we didn't lose internet or anything like that. It was pretty cool because my internet has been on solar, or I should say it's been on a power station that is powered by solar in some way or another for like a good 3-4 weeks, if not longer. Since I got that battery back on my EcoFlow River Max, it's been on. It's been on and popping. Let's see. I'm gonna work my way up and then come back down. I love to garden, love it. I dig it, bro. Having a green thumb is key. The sun and the plants are hand in hand. I get you.
I want to get into it. I just maybe in a couple of years.
Yeah, if anybody gets into it, gardening, it's gonna be my wife. It won't be me. All right, James. Later. Hopefully, caught you in time. Yes, AC30. Gotcha. 2,000 watt hour use, 600 watt in panel, 300 watts use. 100 watt panel. Interesting. 300 watt hour. I gotcha. That's very compelling. And I almost feel like, because I know for a fact 300 watt hours in a 100 watt panel will charge really fast. Actually, it's kind of raining, thundering, and lightning now. We could lose power, but everything, the internet is on solar, the TV is on solar, it's on the Jackery, so it'll probably turn off at some point.
Like it's to the point now where the screen had went black but it was because it was going to an ad, and our oldest son looked up at daddy like
And
he's
thought
the
I turned it
culprit.
off. But no,
No, he thought it turned off because of what it always does, and
that's
he
not
knows
why.
that you're the culprit.
He thought I stole his video from him.
Oh, did
Don't
he?
be changing the narrative.
Well, that's what I thought.
He was like,
He-
I came home from getting something to eat, and I wanted to sit down and watch something, and it had like about
Oh,
3 minutes left. And when
he
he
thought
saw
you
it go
turned it
black,
off.
he thought I changed it from what he was watching.
Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't see it that way.
Now, one thing is, if we do lose power, the lights are gonna go out on them. So we could probably plug a lamp, that lamp in. Yeah, it'll just go dark. Yeah, that'll be fine, but yeah, it'll go dark. Um, I'm developing solar capability for prepping reasons. Gotcha. Prepping. How long can a solar generator last you? And can you charge too much? You can't charge too much on like nice power stations. Now, if you got like a bargain basement power station, you could probably overcharge that. I don't know. They Most of them have DMSs in them that are supposed to prevent overcharging, but you just never know with some of these cheaper ones. How long can a solar generator last you? It depends on what I'm powering. Um, Nothing really lasts me longer than a day. For example, my 500 some odd watt hour EcoFlow River Max on a 20-watt load of my internet, I'll probably get about 20 hours. It'll say about 22, and it'll probably get me that because when I get down to 1%, it doesn't just die. It stays at 1% for a long time. So I don't think it's like properly calibrated. And you should do a proper charge and discharge every few months just to kind of keep things calibrated. At least that's my understanding. Like I always say, I'm no electrical engineer. I'm just going off of what I picked up reading things over the years and booklets and stuff like that. All right. Me and my wife, we usually take road trips, and sometimes we're in areas where there's no reception, right? I was indirectly trying to point out, but strongly, that the AC200P is the power stations that Dell should have. I got for the television needs. It's too big to go back there. We have our television situated in such a way that there's not a whole lot of space behind it. And then it's a corner situation. So if it went behind it, then the power station is inaccessible. So that sucks. And that little cut next to it is where I keep the EcoFlow River. I was thinking about putting like the EB120 there, but I don't know if I'm ready to have the EB20 be on the top floor. But if something comes along and it replaces my EB70, my EB70 wouldn't be a good candidate there either because it's loud. The fan is loud once it hits about 90 watts. That's another thing I'm really getting keen on, as I mentioned before, is fan noise. Fan noise is one of those things that really matters to me. It's why the Jackery 300 is under the TV now. The GoLabs R500 was meant to be the one that I used more so on the TV, but the AC started turning off randomly on me, and I just got the device. So there goes that. And I've even been using the Oops because the Oops can be charged and discharged at the same time, like the Jackery, like the GoLabs. But the fan, I literally counted it one time, guys. The fan on the Oops turns on every like 20 seconds. It's just like 20 seconds go by and then it's like, 20 seconds. And it's subtle, but it's like, I'm not lying. I counted it like 5 times. It's every like 20 to 28 seconds that fan turns on. And it's annoying, which is why I never wanted to use them in the first place. But I literally have nothing that's of a 500 watt hour capacity that can be charged and discharged at the same time, has a quiet fan. I don't have anything. So I gotta use what I have. The Jackery 300 is sitting under there now. I used the Alcatel P501 as a power dump into it. The Alcatel P501 is really nice because the USB port is not bi-directional, so it just charges. A lot of times, some of them I have to debate with. And there's literally no circumstance where I got the bull bat to take power in from a power station using USB-C. It just won't do it. I switch the cables around. I turn the device off. I've tried a bunch of things. I haven't been super thorough. I don't know if I turned it completely off and just had it. It's a whole thing, but that's what I like about that Alcatel. It's not bi-directional. I also like that about the EB70. I like that about the EcoFlow River Max or whatever I have. So I like bi-directional and I like unidirectional. It has its benefits depending on the situation. I also think that what's up, Doyle? I also believe that the EcoFlow is probably going to be the best one for Dell to get familiar with because it's fancy, it's easy to use, the screen is bright and stuff like that. She's already kind of a fan of it because of the light. She calls it like Night Rider and stuff like that, and it's a good capacity joint. You can also control it remotely. I just think that it's a good one for her to become familiar with on. All right, let's see here. Excuse me. This might be a silly question, but our solar generators, do we have to worry about EMP? I feel like you may. I don't worry about it, but that's part of me. I think that's part of me not being a prepper, right? Because it seems like the prepper folks take EMP very seriously. They have their bags and their cages and stuff like that, and it's a whole thing. That's not my hustle. Send me the rain. And DMX came to mind. Now I know only I. Okay, that's enough of that. The microchips can fry from EMP. My wife and I are ham radio operators. Oh, nice. Possibly a Thunder, which I have some of mine in a Faraday can. I know, Joe Tyson, are you into ham radio too? I think you have a call sign. Hey, Siobhan, good to see you. The solar panel has arrived for my Energizer. Nice. Let's see. Doyle, I said hello already. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat real quick. As I said, damn, I missed an hour. Oh man, Dell about to be in a solar game. We'll see.
Yeah. You never know. I don't know.
Even my granddaughter has her bug out bag ready. Yeah, I
would like to get but I'm thinking about a bug out bag. But we need to do a wheel first.
Yeah, I'm not. The thing about bug out bags for me is because I like fly stuff, I don't want my fly stuff just sitting in a bag. Like, I guess I'm getting to the point where I could kind of
so maybe it needs to be a duplicate of things.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I like using my stuff. So even now I have 2 through night flashlights because we thought I lost the first one. I use both of them. I'm not gonna put one in a bag. See how flippant she is with the coinage? She's flipping. She's the reason why I have 2 through nights. I lost my through night and I was like, man, we need to find that. She was like, babe, just buy another one. And a few days later, I bought another one. We found it like a day after. I was like, son of a Trump. But I have 2 flashlights now that I really like.
And you like them both.
So I'm not gonna put one in a bag. That's my point.
I'm saying like we need to have bug out bags. So
do you understand what I'm saying? Because I feel like you don't understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying. I just feel like
you're giving me solutions as if you don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if I have 4 of those flashlights, I want to use all 4 of them.
Well, you have to like control yourself. Use self-restraint and just have like it's for the bag. You know what I mean? That's it.
I may need to have like a bug out counter where if stuff get real, I just take all this stuff on the counter and slide it into the bag because it's been being used. That's the only way I can make it work. I can't, man. I want to use my stuff. I'm serious about using my stuff. I don't buy stuff to have it sitting around. If I'm not going to be able to use it, I don't buy it. If I don't have no use for it, I don't entertain it. I don't go window shopping. I don't do all that stuff. I'm extremely utilitarian. That's another reason why y'all know I give these power stations away, because if I have them, I will use them. And then that becomes a hassle in and of itself. I got the smart list right now that I'm like, man, I'm ready to get rid of it. I'm just kind of scheming on because I do still use it, right? If I reach, I feel like I need like just one or two more power stations to be able to push a couple of these out the door. Because I still use them. The smart list sits full most times, but if I have a banging Sunday, what I use the smart list for recently, or when I have used it, is if I have to go to the bathroom or if I'm jumping in the shower or something like that, I'll grab the smart list because it's a 500 watt hour capable device and I have a 400 watt heater. So I'll plug my heater in on the power station, use it for like 15 minutes, half an hour. It burns through that power quickly, but it has me questioning whether or not it's a 500 watt hour capacity battery. But I use that for 15, 20 minutes to warm the bathroom up while I'm in there. And then I'll charge it up. And I have legitimate reasons when if I have 2 days in a row of solar, I'm swimming in it and I don't have enough power stations to take it. So that's kind of like why the power stations that I have, they're still very useful to me. You know what I mean? 2 days of solar, man, I'm winning. I'm winning. I can't use it. I can't use it fast enough. I'm just running out of places to put it. I need to get my fridge on solar soon. I think the transfer switch is going to be a solution for that. Before I pull it out from the wall, so I'm scared to pull it out from the wall. Joe Tyson says, "Remember, 2 is 1, 1 is none." I agree with that. I agree with that. And if you go 3 is 2 and 2 is 1, I'm gonna use all three of them dips. That's what I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm obnoxious then. It's like I got the two Kershaws. I believe greatly in 2 is 1 is 1 is none. This is the bigger one. I forget what they call, like the Kershaw something. They're really popular ones, and they're affordable. Knives can get expensive. Sheesh. I want one of those Griptilians or the mini Griptilians or there's this skull something or another that I think it's the broken skull knife. I like nice looking knives. That's why I kind of like the Kershaw. I don't like them weird looking dips. This is like a Steve Austin broken skull one that I want, but them knives can get up to like $180, $120. And it's like, it's too rich for my blood. Let's see. It can be a crappier flashlight too. One of those terrible crank ones. Those crank ones are terrible. They are terrible. I love. You're right. You're right. But then it's like if I bug out, I got a crappy flashlight with me, and I'm yeah. I live a very complicated life, y'all. I'm very complicated. Let's see. Let's see. With the war in Europe, it's worth remembering that pretty much the only way to defeat the U.S. in a war would be an MP to end all production of war materials. Interesting, but can you? It's like that's a scary thought. Because is there a man-made EMP that can go long range? My understanding of EMPs and that technology is localized, and then the government. I shouldn't say because the government seems inept most times, but they don't play around this military stuff. I'm coming up on it if I'm not there. 123. I'm doing okay. I was scared it was over.
You are over.
I'm 90 minutes. We do 90.
Oh, yeah. You started late, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That's why it feels like I'm later. All right. Well, let me see what y'all recent comments are because I was talking a lot. Thank you, MJ. I just run the shower for a few minutes. You're a more eco warrior than me. I'm a super man. Listen, I'm very transactional with things in terms of trying to because I feel like that stuff adds up and it doesn't inconvenience me in any way. Actually, during work today, I was telling my wife many conversations ago, I want to, we have to embrace inconvenience in some aspects of our life. I know we don't want to, but I parked in like one of the furthest parking spots from where I go in just because I could get a little walk in. You know, I gained weight because I wasn't like actively going in and out of places with my normal work schedule. I worked from home a couple days a week, but I did have to go into the office in some regards weekly. And now they're kind of returning to that, and I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. But so I can get a little stroll in. I used to walk like 20 minutes every day because I was catching a bus. Catching a bus is not an option. So that's another reason why I would start parking further away so I could get my walking in. Just some little, heighten your heartbeat. Um, and when I walk, I be moving. It's like I don't be playing around. I don't like meandering, slow strolling and stuff like that. And I have a pretty long stride, so I get busy. Let's see what. Something on your phone. You laughing at me? Okay, you can keep that chuckle one to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't put your fly stuff in the bag. The bag needs stuff you can carry. You can afford a third flashlight, man. Yeah, I can afford a lot of stuff. I feel you. I'm going backwards. Abby gonna use Dell's stuff in her bug out bag. I know, right? She gonna have all the stuff in hers. She don't care.
Right.
She gonna spend all the money on it too. Here's the thing, I'm at my daughter's and the police was banging on the door because the apartment under her was on fire. So grab our bug out bags and jet emergency. Wow. Man.
See?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't think of a situation where I've been starting to think about a situation where if we had to leave our home, because that's not something that could happen in the foreseeable future under normal circumstances, but you never know, you know what I mean? And then we just have to all pile into our car and get on the roads. Like, where would we go? What would we do?
Yeah.
What will we bring? What will we leave? Those are tough decisions that we have to start thinking about. You know what I mean? I have like hard drives of family footage from our vlog and stuff like that. Will we take that? You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. I feel like we need to, which reminds me, like I need to get passports for all of us. Like I need to renew ours, and I need to get passports for the kids. We don't have those. And then not to become, what's the word? Dark. But,
morbid.
Yeah, not to become morbid, but like I was saying before, like we need to move forward with, creating a living will, and we need to get like our affairs in order while all things are well.
Yeah.
So that when things are not, chaos
you're right.
doesn't ensue. And it's something that you just don't want to. I personally, I just don't want to. I get emotional thinking about stuff like that. I think about the kids, and it's man. But we need to. Like I learned little simple things like you can have life insurance, which we finally got, thank God. But if you don't officially set up a trustee, then they'll have all that money that will just be sitting until they turn, legal, whatever legal age is here in Pennsylvania. So it's like you can do the simple things such as have life insurance and make sure you think your family's going to be well off. But if you don't go through all those little small points that are required by your state, it again chaos can still ensue. And I'd hate for that situation. Who's going to take care of the kids and how, and what I mean, like that stuff. We need to take care of it, and we need to do our bug out bag, and we need to get our passports. And we about to spend some money on all of this, but money well spent.
Yeah.
Money well spent, money well needed. Like I would even dare say, using savings, money from savings to get that stuff. You know what I mean? In order, because you want to use an attorney to at least look over your stuff to make sure that everything is good as it relates to end of life, estate planning.
Facts. Yeah, I feel you. Joe Tyson says we all have bug out bags in my home. They came into use one night when the local business had a chemical fire and we had to evacuate. Man, yeah, I got to start thinking about that, man. Just seriously preparing for like what I would do. And I'm fairly organized. It's organized chaos. So, but it's organized. But I have to bring a little more organization so that I know, okay, my flashlights are here. Like I know where my stuff is for the most part. Stuff like that. Like flashlights live there. They're on my desk. You know what I mean? I got them on deck. And there's one upstairs and there's two on the counter. So I know where the stuff is that we would need. I know the water's downstairs. on the
It's like,
luggage
see,
is.
all the places upstairs, downstairs, over there, up there. Like who? That's the whole purpose of one spot. Boom, bug out.
Listen.
You got time to be,
Listen,
got the file
you are
over
not
here.
gonna argue the merit of a bug out bag to me.
You don't even tell me about
Right, you know, she gonna school me on bug out bags. Here, husband, is the benefit of a bug out bag. Hey, what does she have? Wildin'. She be wildin', y'all. She be wildin'.
You say wild and childish or something?
you wildin', you super childish. That's a Drake lyric. He said, why you gotta fight with me at Cheesecake? You know I let her go there. See, I'm acting light skinned. I can take you nowhere.
Why you acting light skinned?
Don't egg her on, Joe. Don't egg her on. Let me see. It is scary. It's a scary thought. And it ought to be a nuke detonated a few hundred miles up will produce an EMP in a radius. I got you of several hundred. Yeah, that's true. That's true. My kids were just watching videos about nuclear warheads and stuff like that, and I learned that while they were watching that the EMP aspect of it as well. Find a balance, make it good enough for an emergency, but not fly enough that you want to use it and don't absolutely have to. You're right. You're right. Absolutely. And I could come to terms with it. Nikon has some good flashlights that they have that I got for like 11, 12 bucks, $8, stuff like that. You think about AA versus 18650, the reasonability of AA. I have tons of AA, so I wanted to be a AA flashlight. You know what I mean? Just I have to really think about that. And I got knives all over the place. I don't have a whole ton of them, but they're certainly within reach. And if I have to buy another Kershaw or two to throw in a bag, then I could do that. I'm also researching Leathermans and multi-tools because even though I'm not like a multi-tool guy, I have like a little cheap one that I got from Walmart. So I do have something, but I want like a nicer one to be able to, when I need to have it like in the car or when I'm doing something that would require me to have a Leatherman on my hip or in my bag. I want to have a nice one. And they have these nicer ones out. I never saw a Leatherman that I liked, but they have these ones that are one-handed opening, but they're expensive. So stuff like that I would kind of use for my birthday because then I'll tell my wife that I want one and then she can freely and frivolously skip to the store to just be okay with it. But there's some nice ones out now that I'm into. Let's see. Yeah, you want a good multi-tool, that's for sure. Also, another thing nobody thinks about is can openers. They have something called P38 can opener. Interesting. Yeah, it's like I always have knives, so I don't worry about cans. It would suck to kind of open a can with a knife, but
thank you for that because it's now it's gonna be a can opener in the bug out bag.
No, you need something that has the ability to open cans. It's like little things that could see what I mean. It's going in her bag. That's what it's doing.
Why? And he gonna be like, "Hey, babe, guys, see your can opener."
Nah, yeah, I'm not built like that. If I don't,
you want to struggle using a knife when we got a can opener?
I'm saying that it would never be a situation where I'd be groveling like, "Can I have your can opener?" If you gonna say no, I can't have your can opener, I'll use my knife. Ain't no thing.
It wasn't about that. The point was the fact that you would be asking.
This is futile. This aspect of the conversation is futile. Let's stop.
Because you would want you're big on like what you say, work smarter, not harder. You would be working smarter to use the can opener. Thank you. Who was that?
You probably don't lose stuff unless Dell moved it. Well, I do misplace stuff. I don't lose stuff.
Joe.
Yeah, she cleans up my stuff often enough for me to be annoyed by it.
Got a point. No, I guess so. I take that back. You right.
You right, Eddie. You right.
You right. Because I do move things because I feel like things should have a home, and he doesn't have a home sometimes that like is conducive to everybody, just like him. I do clean up. I've been doing a lot of purging lately, and things have been getting thrown away and moved and stuff.
I literally have to sometimes like just tell her, babe, do not throw this away. Like, don't throw it away.
And it'd be a struggle sometimes.
She's off the chain. Off the chain.
Like I feel like I don't desire for us to be minimalist, but I think like he's a borderline hoarder, you know what I mean? Like on a very small scale. And it's just like we don't use it. We haven't used it in over 6 years. I want to get rid of it because I want to make space to be able to have space.
But that
Like,
stuff come in handy when I need it. It does. The only reason why this live is looking extra crispy instead of how it looked when I had those whack webcams is I kept my USB, my micro USB cables, mini USB cables from yesteryear. And that's what this camera takes. So I can use this nice Canon T3i. It's older, but it's better than them Logitech cameras that came out 2 to 6 years ago. A death in the family, if not prepared, can ruin families. Listen, man,
yeah.
I don't even want. It's like
Where-
I don't mean to like toot our horn, but we are really good parents, so we find it very hard to figure out who our children could go with if something were to happen to both of us.
Yeah.
I don't want to live there in the moment. We could talk about that on our live channel, but I'm not going to stay there. And that's not because I'm sad. I just don't want to. Yeah, I just don't want to live in that moment. That's something we could talk about in a different
He's
space.
just dead inside, huh?
No, it's just
That-
logical.
That should touch your heart.
Logical. But it's a good point if you need life insurance, check with your credit union. Yeah, we don't have a credit union. They usually have cheap also. Blah, 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 blah. You can join. Yeah, we got life insurance. So, yeah. And we don't have no credit union.
Yeah, it's so true. It can definitely ruin families.
Don't get me started on knives. I have the exact knife I've got to get the spring replaced. I got a Benchmade bug out. Oh man, jeez, those Benchmade knives.
That must be a nice knife. If you got for Christmas.
I had like a Benchmade Griptilian.
See, here you go.
In my list from Amazon. Like, man, that is a nice looking knife.
35.
It's like the black and silver one with the blue highlights. Like, look at that. That's a nice looking knife. Spyderco's. Look at that. You see that blue in there?
No.
That's dope. You can't see that blue in the liner?
That little bit of blue.
I mean, sometimes there's more. I don't know. You could put your own like shield on, but I just think that's dope. Look at that one. Man, that's a nice looking knife. My gosh. Anyway, anywho, that knife is probably like $200 or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's why it was a Christmas gift, huh?
Well, I don't have that knife. I guess you're talking to Joe. You're saying Joe.
I mean, when you said for Christmas, it was like that must have been like a gift, like something that
Midway has it for $1.30. You know how much these Kershaws cost me? $30.
From where?
I may have gotten them from Amazon. I would have got them from Walmart if they had them for the right price. Okay, let's see. When I lose my can opener, I do use a knife. A good knife is a good can opener, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
No, because then can't you get that? Then can't you get metal into your food and stuff?
It's a possibility, I suppose. Anything's possible.
And I like the new. Now that I know how to use it, the smart. Is it called a smart can opener? Where it opens the can without cutting the metal at all. Really, really cool. That's the one we're gonna get.
Auntie Blessing says share your screen. I can't. I'm not using. I'm not using. What's it called? Whatever it's called.
Your screen.
I know, right? I love these knives. Anyway, how long did it take? Oh, okay, cool. You're talking to James. My Delta Pro finally finished charging off of mine. This dude, man. He's joking. He's cracking jokes. I got a Victorinox. I don't know how to say it based on how you're spelling it, but it's Victorinox Spirit for my EDC. The Leatherman rebar is a good one. The Wave Plus is good too. Yeah, but I'm not impressed with them. My wife congratulated me for saving it. I'm not messing with you, James.
What did he say?
He said my wife congratulated me for saving $1.90 on our electric bill.
Exactly.
By using solar. It only costs $4,000.
Precisely.
That's not precise.
Precisely.
He's cracked in the funny. That's what he's doing.
Based in reality.
Let's say, a P38 is smaller than the size of a spark plug grabber. It will fit into your keychain. I had a P38, but it broke on the first can I tried to open. Dang. I just pulled out my CC multi-tool and finished the job. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, listen, my tastes are very specific. So that's another reason why like it's hard for me to pick stuff. I haven't picked out a freaking walkie-talkie because they all seem stupid. I'm not impressed with any of them. Yeah. I've been watching videos about multi-tools. I really like the Leatherman ones that you can open with one hand. I'm not necessarily crazy about it being the spring-loaded ones, but I get the practicality of it. But because I'm not typically a multi-tool guy, I don't know how often I will need a spring-loaded multi-tool. It's like the guy was like, yeah, it's like it's a shame that we went so long without spring-loaded ones. And I feel like if you're always using your multi-tool, I get it, but I very rarely need pliers.
I just spent $250.
On what?
Well, I needed to get some books on lotions. I got the shelves for the closet.
Hey, putting shelves in that closet is dumb.
No, it's not.
It's stupid.
It's like I know you really believe.
I do.
Want to save space for our foyer, open it up. I know what I'm doing.
I feel like you spending money. We ain't even reconciled our situation yet. You know what? Just go. Just go. Weirdo.
Oh, what's that we needed though?
Yeah.
Whenever I don't know exactly what it all
Cold
was.
Steel. Yeah, Cold Steel is a good one too. I actually have a Cold Steel. It's a super small one. Cause like my coins is always in question. I think this is a Cold Steel.
Oh, it's not a battery. A battery powered air conditioner is going to be testing.
I think this is a Cold Steel. The Cold Steel Recon, maybe? Yeah. I have a Cold Steel.
Look at that. Look at you. Oh,
it was like $20 or something like that. And I used to like really small knives and stuff. I've kind of gotten away from that because they're not as useful, but I don't use them for anything. But I like portability and compactness. So this is one that I have. Don't start talking about happy wife, Joe. You know, you've been around here long enough to know I'm not that guy. And this is another little small one. I think this might be a Spyderco. It's a Spyderco little small knife. The thing that I like about this one, y'all, is I could put this in my wallet holder. I have this little, like I like minimal things. I don't like carrying around a lot of stuff. I actually got this from like maybe REI or Dick's or something like that. They're probably gonna mess up my monetization talking about Dick's.
You just say Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dick's Sporting Goods. I could put it in here, and when you go to a place that typically like wants to check you, you can put this on the side with your keys, and you don't have no problems. Or you could put it on your key ring, but if you put it on your key ring, they may see it and give you some problems or whatever. I'm thinking about like theme parks or stuff like that. I don't know about any place that really takes security seriously, but I could put it in here and nobody's none the wiser. Then I got something to be able to cut if I need to cut off, whatever. But I want to get a bigger Cold Steel. I like the look of this knife very much. Yeah. And this is my little cheap multi-tool that I had. It's actually spring-loaded. So I got something, but it was from like Walmart. What is it? It might be a Gerber. Yeah. This was before I knew what quality was. Buying like Walmart flashlights and stuff. All right, folks. Anybody got any questions? We're gonna wrap this thing on up. Yeah, I don't think it would pass security. You gotta come up out of everything. Let's see. What's up, Sunshine City Solar Light Jamaica? True story. I once forgot I had a gun in my messenger bag until I got on a plane for Thanksgiving. That's another thing that I'm gonna be like really kind of crazy about because I love options. I love compact. I love like something that fits my hands. The Walther P99 is like my favorite looking gun of all time. I don't think I've ever found anything that looks better than that for my taste. Everything is protection for me. Knife, scissors, garden shovel, meat tenderizer. If it fits my purse, I'll use it. I dig that. I ain't mad at that. EcoFlow will be releasing a battery-powered air conditioner that I will be beta testing. Nice, good for you, man. That's what's up. I will keep everyone posted. Yeah, please do, please do. Eddie T, what's happening, man? It's been a while. Diamondback 380. It's a mini Glock clone that I have in a wallet-shaped holster. Really worries me about airport security. I would love to get into holsters and stuff like that. Let me just tell y'all something. I don't like that this idea that the knife community is really concerned about deep carry. I don't like the idea of hiding. I love this idea of openly carrying. But I'm black. So it gets a little sketchy. That's something that me and Setai need to talk about. This idea of open carrying while black. Oh, down goes Frazier. Don't you start crying. You felt like daddy, all in slow motion. But these people I get it. I know you don't want to draw attention to yourself. You don't necessarily want people to know that you have a knife. But I like my knives. Sometimes I don't want it to be hidden. I'm weird in that way. And I'm not even like a flashy guy. It's more so like it's all in my pocket. It's hard to get out. Sometimes I like putting it on the outside of my pocket. But then I'll be watching these videos and they don't influence me. But these guys are talking about deep carry and, be mindful. I'm like, shut up. I can have a knife and I can pull it out in the open and I don't feel bad about it. I'll pull it out. Okay, yes, I wanted to go to an open carry event, but I was too scared. Yeah. I don't know if you're joking or if you're just being a realist. I had no idea it was legal to take guns on an airplane, check baggage. That's something, right? I didn't know that either, but I was watching a video a few months ago where they were talking about like how to properly like travel with your gun, but it becomes a whole thing. I don't know if it's worth it. I'm painfully paranoid about them. I'm constantly aware of where it is. I dig that. Guns are not the problem. Bullets are the problem. The one that controls the bullets controls violence. Yeah, that's a fair point. In Texas, you could open carry a pistol, fixed blade, knife, sword, battle axe, whatever you want. Walther is top notch. I have a Walther PPQ myself. I want to like the Walther PPQ, but it feels too small. It feels too small. And James Bond was the influence. I'm a techie guy. James Bond had a big influence on me in my childhood, and also MacGyver. So when I saw that P99 for the first time, I was like, man, that gun is nice. I don't think they even make them anymore. I think they discontinued them, which is just sad. Forget a gun. That's impossible for me. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's I don't have much experience with them. I love them though, and I do plan on like getting a lot of experience with them and like training and stuff like that because I want to be comfortable with them. But I'm not comfortable with them at all right now. Yeah, I have checked guns. This was in my personal items, so I had a loaded gun under the seat the whole flight. Wow, I was sweating bullets. I didn't think they'd believe I forgot it. Sheesh, that's crazy. That's what it should be at the practical. California sucks, but then the people are getting worse here. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, we did that. Okay. Cool. In New York, you will be protected by sunshine and fairies. You don't need to carry. All right, folks, it's been real, man. You guys are the best. Hanging out with y'all is the best. We're gonna go ahead and deuces. I don't like that YouTubers be like, peace. That annoys me. Everybody does that. Peace. MJ still in the cut. MJ, I'ma message you. I'll message you. There's no way you should need cables. What's up, C Holmes? Reese's Pieces. Hey, I like that too. Y'all be beautiful. And we out.